Heyo people! This will probably be the last pre-release video I do for Aura Kingdom Impact, but once again, we have some hot intel. I'll start at the top here with the release date, July 1st or 2nd, depending on your time zone. As a few players noticed, and thank you for the links because I couldn't find them myself, some streamers were given early access to help promote the game in the last couple weeks, but I was hesitant to confirm info from just those alone since it is still technically pre-release and in Thai. Aw man, next legend, you could give little old mid-days of access? Anyway, we will start with the news, then talk a bit about those streams, and as usual, a little bit of opinion. Please do share your thoughts in the comments as well. I love chatting with you guys about how we feel about this stuff. You've changed my opinions on things all the time. So, anyway, the third dev letter has dropped, and let's talk about what it says. We feared the starting cap might be quite low, but it's going to be 60. Remember that Weapon Mastery will start unlocking at level 5, so you won't have to cap to get started on the skill customization. And that's all well and good, but the next part shocked me. They will actually only have 6 classes available upon release. The new class, Floating Cannon, of course, then Duelist, Wizard, Tachi, Starcaller, and Stellar Sphere. My first thought when I see this list is, warbow where? But then my second is, none of those are a good subclass? I'll save my opinion for later, but for now, while this seems really restrictive, I think if the skill customizations are as detailed as we are anticipating, this is plenty. But it is sad to see my personal top 3 faves missing. More classes will be released over time, of course, and just a note, confirmed from watching the pre-beta livestreams, there are no restrictions on classes with body types. Adult males with Starcaller looks a bit silly holding the puppet, but such is life. When it comes to switching your main weapon, firstly they confirm no item is needed, it will just be free swap like we have for subclass right now. They also have a weapon library where you can store one of each weapon type to auto-swap your equipped weapon when you change main or subclass. If you watched my last livestream, you will remember watching me change to gun sub before entering the Nightmare. The current version requires all your gear tabs to have no sub-weapon equipped to change, so having it auto-swap to the weapon you have slotted for each class will definitely make that easier. This is just one of each though, so you may still need some fuss about it if you need different weapons to use for main or sub versions of the classes. Okay, so that's what we know about classes. Next, let's talk Eidolons. First up, don't worry about starters. The 6 starter Eidolons will become account shared. I'm pretty hype about this change since being able to change main class means you have little reason to make cures for each starter, but more importantly, that's probably 6 customizable spots for your skills, filled right there. If you remember, I was concerned in the past about being able to have enough Eidolons to fill up all the customization slots on your skills. Also, if you remember, they said they would have an Eidolon crossover promotional thing. Of course, that will be Land Cat. There is a Land Cat Eidolon. Next, Eidolons in an active party on one character can still be in the party on another. Thank you for this. I hate when I leave Persephone on my main, then need her for something on an alt. I mean, Persephone won't have immunity anymore, but it will still be nice to have your meta Eidolon team ready for all your characters without having to remember to despawn and remove them from party before changing over. They also note that certain Eidolons will be changed to physical attribute. I read this as they are going to add a 7th elemental type, like a new category. In the current version of the game, physical wasn't added as an element till very late in its life, so even now there's very few physical buffer Eidolons, none start with physical damage buff stars, and 0 have actual physical element as their type. Now that I think about it, since we have 6 elements and 6 starters in our version, maybe they'll add a physical type starter too later? And finally, some info on the link system change. I'm just going to read this verbatim because I'm not sure what to think. Players can now obtain the required items for linking by spending in-game currency, making the process simpler and more accessible. Players who want to collect dual cards, statues, or other special link rewards are encouraged to try it out. Maybe it was different in other regions, but for our region, the resource needed for linking was Eidolon energy, which was sold in the LP store, which is an in-game currency. So, whether they want to change that to an item you can buy for gold in-game, or with like tokens, or if other regions did not have energy available for LP, I don't know. but also the direct lack of mentioning fragments there gives me pause. With the mention of statues, I think that's our cue to move into the archive system, and here is where it seems we have a bit of a translation confusion, as they specify this is about the card collection system, but based on the description, it is in fact what we call the costume archive right now. It says they will be adding green tier fashion items and orange tier equipment to the archive, which will count for points to assist in leveling the archive. Basically, like what we currently have for furniture, but for costumes, and then a completely new section for crafted gear. That's the orange quality gear. That certainly does add a lot more stuff you can slam in there for points, so I hope they use that to just make it easier to build up, and not massively increase the number needed for the stats. And moving along with system level changes, the Fortification. No more fragments needed, and you don't need to unequip your gear. The fortification success rate will be visible, and potential as a fortification pity system will still exist. I'll throw a screenshot of the new system on from one of the live streams that I watched. As someone who is currently suffering from too many forts and not enough fragments on both of my accounts, great change, love to hear it. Next up, I want to talk about the in-game trade restrictions. This seems pretty intense based on how much time they devote to it in the notes, so I just want to lock in on the important stuff. Basically, when you start, you will not be able to directly trade other players at all by any means, and there are 3 ways to remove this restriction. 1. Get to level 60, cap level, and complete a special quest. How much of a grind this will be remains to be seen. At the very least, I anticipate the curve will be set to a point where it will not take only 3 hours or so like I usually take when I'm rushing on our current server. 2. Log in for 28 days. Or 3. Purchase a trade unlock item from the cash shop. All 3 methods will get you the reusable trade unlock item, and you can use it to unlock trade on all of your characters once you have one from any method, as it can be stored in your shared warehouse. I don't know how to feel about this. How do you guys feel? I have to assume the auction house will be the exception, otherwise it may as well be a solo game for the first month for most players. But the intent here seems to be to help with bots, since this is listed alongside their anti-cheat software. Because I intend to play free-to-play, that means I'm either on the legit grind, or I can't do any P2P trading until August, basically. They also point out that they will be monitoring trade activity for suspicious actions with the possibility to refreeze your trading. They also don't specify the cash shop price for these trade unlock items either. Maybe a miss. At the very least, your mail will unlock at level 30, though likely without the ability to include gold or items in letters you send, and I sure hope that's not too much of a grind, because I have some extra muramasa key and costume codes that I want to send out to people, and it would be much easier if I could just send them via in-game mail. I'll add in right here, I will put one new pre-registry link in the description below. If 10 more people sign up with that, I'll have another muramasa key to give out for free. Anyway, since I talked about the cash shop there, let's talk shop. Specifically, LP. It sounds like they want to maintain the same kind of LP shop that we have on our current server. I don't know how the LP shop is on the other servers, but the way they describe it just sounds a lot like what we already have. Fashion, mount, fortification materials, reshuffling items, Eidolon items. Though they also note alchemy items, and I'm not sure whether to read that as alchemy like the gambling table as it's named in their other games, or if they mean like potions. Could go either way. But anyway, good. Loyalty points, or coupon points, are in-game farmable, and in our current server are key to getting your hands on supplies to strengthen up without relying on gold, the auction house, or trading other players. As long as they've got sources to farm it daily. And now for the rapid fire section. The auction house item listing limit will increase to allow 32 items to be listed simultaneously instead of just 8. Resetting stat point allocation below level 40 will only cost 1 silver at all times, not just during events. For reference, this is the smallest possible denomination of currency. Refining cores will have new and different possible effects. We already know nocturnal lifesteal cores are gone, so I'm interested to see what new effects they mean to replace that. Character name length will be increased to 16 characters, or 8 Chinese characters. And finally, stricter numeric verification penalties and enhanced penalties. When watching one of the streamers play, I saw a CAPTCHA jump up on them, so I assume this is about that. Does that mean say goodbye to AFK cubing? We'll see. Anyway, that was the info dump section, and now we're on to what I gleaned from watching the streamers. I won't be showing any of their footage directly, just a couple screenshots. Go give them the attention that they deserve. The two streamers that I watched are HookHuukGaming and DEERLONG ASMR, and I've got links to their livestream VODs below. Go check them out. Just keep in mind that you must take all of the remaining stuff with a little grain of salt. We may still see changes. I would not be surprised to see some adjustments were made so that these streamers can go a little faster for promotion to show off what's going on in the game. Maybe this is a weird place to start, but I spy with my little eye voice options for Eidolons in the settings. Chinese or Japanese? Although I'll note that the Japanese was blocked out, and I don't know if that's like pre-beta if they're working on licensing. We'll have to wait and see. Face and hair options in character creation are the same, and the preview outfits do not correspond with what you start in-game with, but it's also not the OG outfits from our time either. And yeah, you don't see a choose starter Eidolon screen, it's just this one screen where you choose class and your look. The quest where you would normally get the starter you chose looks like it only gives you Chiyu, but it's hard to tell where the other starters come from, as these streamers were given a bunch of Eidolons to try out and already had all 6 starters. The main quest that the streamers run through is not the exact same as the OG game. There's no Dream Instance Showdown at Grathborn, and they streamlined a bunch of the starter stuff. The quest kills were lower numbers, and at times I thought it was lower than even our current version, which is already quite low. It looks like they also incorporated more cutscenes in the sections that were just straight chit-chat boxes before. The battle against Brian is also a little more interesting, but like I said, I won't show any footage, so go check out DEERLONG for that. That being said, the Deep's Cavern instance I saw HookHuuk run was the same as I remember, so changes to fight mechanics in total overall remains to be seen exactly what that means. The Eidolon archive, which contains basically all the different stats in our version, is on screen for a moment and shows only flat stats. I don't really want to comment on the LP store that was seen in the stream since, well, that's definitely pre-release and massively subject to change, but it lives up to the promise made earlier. There were still full keys, costumes, forts, and they had individual dye colors, which makes it easier to get the stuff you like. Some things look massively more expensive, but the selection was also bigger than our current. Clicking what would have been the autopath button in the quest log book or quest tracker actually directly teleported the streamers to the NPC for the quest they chose. That's big if available for all quests, but it doesn't seem to work for kill targets. The new instance menu is what I was hoping for. Direct teleport inside of the dungeons, even solo. And I even watched the streamer teleport directly into the dimensional hall, which looks to me like no quest is needed for it anymore. Each target inside just had a really high experience value. Could be big if you're buffing monster experience too. And finally, after instances, you are put back where you were before you entered. Also in dungeons, the red carpets are modernized to show their cast time with the wave inside. I've got a linear and a circular here to show ya. And lastly, I can't tell what the new item helper that replaces potion auto use slot does. It's just an on toggle, and if there was a menu to create settings for it, I didn't catch what it was doing because of the language barrier, or maybe neither of the streamers actually opened it. Right, so onto the opinion section, and I'll keep it short, just lock in on a few things. I would love to hear what you think about these changes too, so let me know in the comments below and let's talk about it. The game looks exactly like the current, and to me that is fine. I thought the UI would get more of a rework, but that's fine to me too, since I'm used to it, but it looks and feels its age. When I was watching the streams, I felt like there were so many menus and tabs that at times they were getting tripped up. And if they're new to the game, that's a pain point. Like, even now I get people that are like, whoa, you can teleport to a dungeon entrance from the portals? Because they just didn't see the second tab. There's a lot more tabs in Impact. But I think what I'm most worried about here is still the classes. Not that there's only 6, because like I said, with the customization options, I feel like we will be able to really make our class our own, but no dedicated healer and no dedicated tank? Like, I get that we all play DPS right now, but that's because Nocturnal or Bard sub allows us to. And now we don't have those options. None of the options feels like a good subclass. With no dedicated healer, your parties are going to be all DPS still anyway. If the skills do what I know them to do from the old game, we're looking at 1 party healing and cleanse skill on main Wiz, and 1 healing buff on the Stellar Saphir buff selector, and that's kinda it. So, unless Eidolon infusions will be able to add party-wide healing effects that would allow you to change your role entirely without changing class, there's limits to what this specific bunch can do outside of hurt things. But I'll leave it there. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this intel, and we'll catch you guys next time. Or maybe just on July 1st or 2nd, depending on your region, when I will be going live as soon as possible once the servers are up, ready to give away a couple muramasa key codes. 1 more if 10 people use the link below. Oh, and X-Legend, if you're watching, I'm a lot cheaper to sponsor if you want an experienced player to try out some stuff pre-release for promotion. Hit me up. Everyone else, thanks for watching.